Hey everybody, Alex Kazora, SteelersDepot.com, back with some Pittsburgh Steelers tape breakdown and analysis. I know I just did a video on Joey Porter Jr. from the Jacksonville game, 3 great reps that he had there, but there is so much more to talk about from this Titans win, so a quick film room. He traveled on Titans star wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, and he clamped him in the win. Before we get into the tape, if you guys could like this video, also subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate that. But let's look at Joey Porter Jr. reportedly going to Mike Tomlin, saying, I want to travel with DeAndre Hopkins. Pittsburgh generally, for the longest time, does not travel their corners. They play sides. But you see Porter at right cornerback here, taking DeAndre Hopkins on this crosser. And he's been a left corner for most of his time in Pittsburgh, but has that skill set to play either side. And not a, obviously crazy rep here, but just kind of the theme of the day is we're going to run and shadow Hopkins no matter where he goes. Now we'll look at one of the targets here that Porter had against DeAndre Hopkins. Will Levis seeing the 1v1 coverage to the top, Porter, the right cornerback here on this play, just does a nice job to pin Hopkins to the sideline, use his size, his length overall, and then get his head around enough to avoid the PI call, and they don't throw the flag, and it's an incomplete pass. And now Porter had a tough start to this game, got called for some penalties, a bad first drive overall, but that short-term memory to come back and make the next play as a corner, you gotta have that short-term memory to last in this league. Just good technique here, pin the receiver, eyes on the ball, then head around at the end as you get your hips turned, and to force the incompletion. This is going to be cover 2, so not straight man coverage, but Porter right cornerback to the top, and just kind of that little bump there at the top. And that's a little borderline. Obviously, we're past 5 yards where you can get flagged for that, and Porter was flagged a couple times in this game. But listen, D-Hop, he's a crafty dude. He's a physical dude. You got to match that. And there's a line to walk there, and you don't always maybe walk it perfectly, especially as a rookie, making technically your second career start. But just at the top here, a little shove as Hopkins loses his balance. His throw goes down the seam. Ended up being complete to Kyle Phillips. But just setting the tone, saying, I'm going to, you're going to have your hands on me. I'm going to have my hands on you. We're going to be physical all game long. Love this rep from Porter. We're in the red zone. It's ISO, top of the screen, 2x2, high hands as Grady Brown teaches it, the DB's coach. And again, just pin to the sideline, use your leverage, sideline's your friend. Get your head around, eyes on the football. That's going to prevent those DPI calls if you have vision on the football and playing generally clean. Yeah, a lot of contact here. Hopkins doesn't really ask for the call. I think it's a really strong rep overall by Porter off the release here. Even though maybe he punched with the wrong hand initially, but able to clear his hips and then eyes on the football. And there's just no separation, no space for Hopkins, and this pass lands incomplete. Having a strong game as a corner often means the plays that don't get thrown to you, that you're taking away a route so significantly the ball goes elsewhere. Porter right cornerback here out of this stack look. And again, similar to the last play that we just examined, him being able to carry this one vertically. Good technique overall. Get his hips open and then just ride the receiver in his hip pocket. There's a bit of safety help there too. But again, just seeing that kind of, perimeter coverage on that vertical route here by Hopkins, who stems to the outside. They're trying to reduce that split in this stack look to create some space on the outside for Hopkins on his release, and Porter just in that hip pocket the whole way. Ball goes elsewhere, and it's incomplete. Now Porter at the spot we usually see him at, left cornerback. There is Hopkins to the bottom and defending the dig route. Seen some verticals, some 9 routes that have been taken away. How about defending the whole route tree on this in cut by Hopkins? It's good coverage overall from Porter, just right there, step for step. Ball has to go somewhere else. Just again, being physical, getting hands on, playing clean on this rep. Ends up being checked down to the running back in the flat. The pass bit high, incomplete, and it's a big stop there on third down for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But right there, Porter all over Hopkins, and that's what you're looking for on those big, weighty possession downs. Late in the game, fourth down, this pass goes to top of the screen. That's Levi Wallace. But just talking about traveling and being put in different alignments, we think about Porter, boundary corner, outside corner, been a left corner mostly with Pittsburgh. In the slot, fourth down, 4th and 3, over Hopkins, who's the number 3 receiver, the innermost slot receiver on this play. It's a good rep overall. They're going to take the deep shot somewhere else. There is clear bracketing on this play. You can see Porter has outside leverage. Neal is able to kind of spin and rob down to take away any sort of in-breaking route from Hopkins on this play. So that's a benefit as well. But just kind of to the broader point, really seeing Porter travel different alignments depending on where Hopkins goes. It's not just, okay, if he's outside, Porter's going to take him. If he's inside, somebody else will deal with him. Porter's probably not gotten a ton of snaps in the slot, but makes it look natural, and it's just playing cornerback, man, and get hands-on, be physical, be tight coverage, and force that ball somewhere else. And good coverage by Levi Wallace on this play as well, and thankfully, Treylon Burks' scary injury seems to be okay. Tennessee's final drive, and just real quick here, right cornerback, top of the screen, and again, just carry and deny anything vertical. Just be aggressive, hands-on, use that size, that length. Yes, there's a line to walk about what gets called, what doesn't. There was a penalty that Porter got flagged for on 4th down on this drive, but I think you got to go with what got you to the league, your size, your length, your physicality, your press man ability, and let the chips fall where they may. And it's just a good rep overall to carry that vertically. Hopkins has 0 separation, and just to deny the opportunity for the throw, and you get the Alex Highsmith sack on this play. Finally, last rep that we will look at, Porter right cornerback, and again, just more of the same. Nothing super crazy on this rep overall. Maybe a little handsy at the end. I believe the very next play is when Porter got called. It was kind of a similar set of circumstances. Hopkins probably talking to the ref to call that one and maybe influencing that a bit. But again, I just, you see the travel, you see the press man ability that Porter has here. This is a little less, true press man on this play. I believe Hopkins might be off the line of scrimmage here. Let's double check. Yeah, he's off as the number 2 is on the line. So it's harder to press there. But again, it's just trusting Porter to be in those ISO situations to take Hopkins 1v1. And DeAndre Hopkins, 0 catches in the second half. I believe Next Gen Stats said that with Porter covering or being the closest man to Hopkins, just 1 catch for 17 yards on 5 targets in the game overall. So this is a big grow-up game for Joey Porter Jr., and kudos to Mike Tomlin, the coaching staff, for having the confidence to allow Porter to shadow. I think the last corner to really truly shadow was Ike Taylor in his prime, so it also helps that Patrick Peterson can move around a bit. He can play anywhere on the field essentially, so that kind of makes traveling logistically an easier thing to do, but obviously the focus is on Porter and just using a size, length, and kind of that alpha male mentality of that's their top dude. I want to take on their top dude. Coach, let me do it. They do it, and the results work out in Pittsburgh's favor. So, great game for Porter. Good game overall for this defense. The secondary still certainly has their share of concerns, but Porter looking bright for the present and for the future. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Again, if you guys could like this video, subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate that. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.